YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Listen, the content is all shot in chronological order. Each video is literally like an episode. It's like the next episode. We got a big box, real big box here. We got this Samsung G8 Neo monitor. This is 4K, 240 hertz, mini LED. Let me get this position a little bit better. I think right there should be good. So hopefully you guys are having a great day. I was getting ready to film some A90K content, lovable TV, and I forgot that I had put in an order for this thing, which ironically retails for the same price. So I think that this would do a few things for my channel. Number one, I regularly get asked, hey, TKK, do you even buy any LED TVs? Well, the answer is no. I do, however, get monitors that are LED. So we're gonna get this thing unboxed and take a look at it right after this intro. All right, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, TKK. So before we go ahead and dive into this and have our talking points and do things how we do them this way, let me first just explain to you, I will card in a video right now, but my computer build that will be using this features an RTX 3090 Ti. It features a 12th generation i9 processor. That's 12900K to be specific. I've got the 600 series Asus Strix board onto it with DDR5. Right now I've got 64 gigs of DDR5. I believe the frequency I have is at 5600 megahertz. It's pretty much a no compromise build, and that's what you have to have if you're going to get a monitor like this. This monitor is manufactured by Samsung. It is the Odyssey line Neo. It's a gaming monitor. It has 4K resolution, so 3840 by 2160 at up to 240 hertz. It's pretty much like one of a kind right now. There's not a lot of opportunities or options. Your compromise is either going to be that you have 240 hertz at 1080p. That's the mainstream. There are some QHD options that are out there. Or you're going to be looking at 4K at 144 hertz. There's some options I've seen overclocks at 165, but this one pretty much more or less is supposed to give you the best of everything. The last high-end monitor that I featured prior to the BenQ, I'll card that in. I am using that. It's 4K 144 hertz. It does have two HDMI 2.1 ports. I'm in the process of still reviewing it, playing a lot of fighting games on it, but the monitor that I got that was high-end prior to that was an Asus Strix monitor I got about 4 or 5 years ago. It was pretty much the flagship 4K 144 hertz, full array local dimming, 27 inch. Well, this guy has mini LEDs, so essentially you have more grids, more zones, so you don't have as much contrast control as an OLED, but you do get a lot more control versus a full array panel, and you have less blooming. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this camera position in a side orientation so we can take a look at the contents. I will tell you, I'm not impressed with this box. I know that they're all like going on the same, kind of box, all of these companies, Samsung, Sony, LG, but I hate this box. I feel the box presentation is terrible. But let's get out. So in this video, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing out, take a good look at it, make sure the panel's not damaged or anything. This monitor did just release in the United States at most major retailers, July the 8th. We are on July the 12th right now. Are we? No, we're the 13th, forgive me. We are on July 13th, so this came out a couple of days ago. Yeah, this is kind of like a bleeding edge type of technology thing. There's no hardware out here to really take full advantage of the 4K at 240 hertz. Even with what I have, playing games like God of War, it's just not possible. It's not possible. Not if you're more or less a max settings type of person like I am. So for me, it's really just, to dive into keeping up with the latest and greatest. I do like to have a fancy monitor, but this one does actually have some unique talking points and things that are interesting to it. As I said, it's 32-inch class. It is 16 by 9, but it's supposed to have the ability to do kind of like an ultra wide. And so I'm very interested in seeing how that will all play. So let me get this box off of the counter. All right, guys, so I'm kind of gonna run through giving you a overview of everything that's in the box. We got the monitor, and I did flip it over. It looks good so far. We'll get a more up close look to it. We do have this back piece that kind of sort of goes on the back to cover up all of the different ports and so forth. So that's awesome. Last Odyssey monitor I had was the 49-inch QHD at 240 hertz. That was really cool. You've got the arm that's going to come there, and that's going to kind of go into that place here. The base I already put to the right where I'm putting all this other stuff. They kind of link all of these in together. This is cool that they actually give you a white power brick for it. However, I personally wish that they had an ability to do this thing with a standard AC power cable. I get tired of these circular bricks. They're just really hard to manage. And then you have a non-polarized cable that's going in there. So there's a lot going on with this thing. Hopefully I can get it managed and clean on my desk the way that I want it to be. They do provide you with the non-polarized cable. It's grayish, so it's very thoughtful there. And they provide you with a HDMI 2.1 cable as well as a DisplayPort cable. I'll be utilizing DisplayPort with this, but I guess for the sake of the video and as I'm testing this going forward, I will be connecting the consoles to it also, just to see what it looks like. All right, so real quick, this thing comes with a piece for you to be able to mount this up. And I don't like the way the curved monitor looks inside of my cabinet. Otherwise, I would put it there. It's not gonna go there. The BenQ is there on my extension cabinet, that is. But so you have two options. The arm, which is what I'm putting there. And then you have this piece that would essentially go into this hole, this groove. And you would use these 4 screws here to kind of screw this in. And then from there, you'd use this piece to mount up to what you're going. So this width and length of these screw placements are literally perfect for my arcade cabinet. However, like I said, I'm not going to be mounting this up on my cabinet. This is gonna sit on the desk. We're gonna play a lot of games and test a lot of things with this. But it's a beautiful monitor, man. I love this Alienware-ish look that they have. I'm not a big fan of the brick, but placement of all the ports are down below, so that's pretty awesome too. So far I'm liking what I'm seeing. Just kind of want to give you guys some talking points. They do, like all Odyssey monitors, or most of them at least, the gaming ones, they include this little piece right here. It's just 2 plastic pieces, so it kind of goes in right here on the back to hide the screws that you just bolted in. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that attached, and we're gonna keep this thing going. All right, got this thing physically connected to its base. You hear some humming possibly. I got the air fryer going with a few things at dinner for my small kids, but the back's got like a gloss finish. As you can see, it's white. But man, it's a huge monitor. It's not my first curve, nor is it my first 32-inch. We feature quite a few on the channel. I've got like monitors around here. It's got a nice curvature too. I think it's a 1000R, so it reminds me of a mini version of that JS9500 that I no longer have. But yeah, this thing is beautiful. I love the quality of build. If you're familiar with using any of their G or Neo, their Odyssey line monitors, then you're no stranger to that. Like I said, it's built pretty well from that perspective. So we'll go ahead and get everything connected. All right, so quick walk around of the test setup. My son is locating an HDMI for me because it does not come with one. I'm wrong. It comes with a USB upstream. You're good. You can go plug it up. Also, it comes with a DisplayPort cable. So I got the lights turned off here because I want to kind of capture everything that this thing has to offer on my initial impressions of it within this video. So I got that plugged up. So let's get you guys a nice walk around. Yeah, all right. So like with any LED monitor, you're gonna have some bleeding of light. It just kind of is what it is. My camera's exaggerating a little bit more than it is for sure, but This thing looks pretty good. It's pretty nice and black, especially when you're in the middle. It's really good. Like this blooming that you're seeing on camera, because I'm looking at the viewfinder, it does not exist in person. Like it's probably it's more of my camera blowing that up. But yeah, when you're at an angle, I can see a little bit around here, but it's being a curved monitor, it makes sense. When you're in the center of this thing, it looks really, really good. Automatically, we've got 120 hertz for the PlayStation 5. I believe my console does need to undergo some updates, but we do have that. And so it looks like you can force this thing to 240 hertz. Obviously, it kind of is what it is in terms of the frame rate, whatever title you're playing. But it blacks out for a second after you do that. So we've got the refresh rate at 240. I wish this had a remote. The BenQ monitor spoiled me. Check out my review or a quick view of that. It does have a remote, so that helps a lot. Just kind of messing around with these settings a little bit. I'll have to find what works best for me. Obviously, Ultra Game View is not an option that you can set here. That would be something more specific with the PC in mind. You can turn the lighting on. There's something on the front. Okay, static. So you can change different colors for the lighting. Let's see if I can find something white. Done there. Let's see what we've got. Okay, oh yeah, so you've got that there. It's pretty nice. You want to kind of set the mood a little bit. You can do that. That's awesome. Even though you don't have to have functioning. This control doesn't seem too bad. Okay, I like how that contrasts. Okay, looks good. With monitors, I like to build from like pretty much like a dark preset, you know, and then I go from there. Local dimming auto high. Let's turn that up. Volume. Obviously, this thing doesn't have any dynamic brightness. Not something I can turn on here. So I don't know if that's like more of a PC thing that I have to have or what. So this thing has a picture-in-picture. You can do 2 sources, I imagine. I'm not able to mess with the input latency. That's really weird. I can't modify that to go low input lag. I'll have to mess around with that within this video so that I can make sure that we get this figured out. So let me get this on a tripod so we can see what this looks like. All right, guys, so I got this thing kind of soft calibrated to my liking, and I'm gonna tell you, man, it looks great. It looks really good. I can understand why the curvature. I mean, because, you know, if this is a monitor where if you're sitting right in the middle of this thing, it just looks, it looks fantastic. The reds and everything are just really nice, man. I don't notice any out of the way bleeding. Like I said, if you see anything like haloing around on the Spider-Man on my camera, I can see on my camera, it's just like overexposed or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to get more education on how to modify my camera to, you know, reproduce more of what's there. But best I can do is just explain it to you guys. This looks really, really good. Like, it looks amazing. Seriously, the contrast, the colors, everything, just the details. I can see everything here. But the biggest issue with any LED TVs, when you get to an angle, I'm telling you, you lose it. You absolutely lose it. When you get to the side, that's when you start to see the blooming and things like that. So again, this is a different kind of product versus what I normally speak on with the channel. But just like with the TVs, last year, I was not talking about TV. So you guys are going to be seeing a lot more with the monitors. So I'm going to go ahead and get a game open. Spider-Man is what I'm going to run. Push this thing to 120 hertz. Just so we can see, you know, I can talk to you guys at least about how good it feels to just control and move this thing. Right. So there's a couple of options that I've discovered here. Getting into the menu. And Let's see where we just at. System. You have the ability to adjust whatever the input version is, 2.0 or above. There's a north arrow going high for that. So definitely need to turn that on. Variable refresh rate control, turn that on. That does black out for a second, but those are two things you definitely want to turn on with it. Yeah, so other than that, I mean, I got everything set to how I want it to be. Still no idea why I can't modify like the low input lag. No idea for that. There may be something limited to the display port. Another video, we will be checking that. All right, I'm gonna have to lead with this. Yeah, this thing moves. Whew. It's really crisp, man. So this is definitely going to lead to some content, because I don't own any of the flagship TVs that are LED or mini LED, but as you can see, I'm more of a monitor guy. PC gaming, console gaming, just gaming as a whole is more of my niche. Nothing against any of the LED questions, but I do have quite a few of you guys ask me from time to time what I think about this, that, or the third. Just personally, for the TV space, I'd be going OLED, but this thing looks good, man. It looks good. I really like the way this looks. Your best picture is gonna definitely come from the middle, and that's where you should be sitting with this. It's not a flat panel, so it's not one of those things where you'll be at an angle. The 240 hertz, I mean, obviously with console, you're not going to be able to take advantage of that. But man, look at that shot. It's really good. It's really tight. Man, yeah, this thing, it moves good. I always like to use Spider-Man as a reference, because although with this particular save, it only says 7%. You know, I played this game through and through when it was PlayStation 4 Pro. But yeah, definitely running at the high frame rate mode for the PS5. Looks good, man. Let me know what you guys think. We're gonna get some comparisons going down the road with this and the A90K. As well as I got definitely got more content to shoot for it. This TV, that TV, this monitor costs about the same from a retail perspective. Although this is currently on sale, I think for like the Amazon Prime or whatnot, Prime days, it's $200 off. So yeah, this is like pinnacle stuff from a monitor perspective. I want to know what you guys think. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about this monitor, what you'd like to see with it. I've got a general idea as to what I want to do in terms of how I want to shoot the content, get some comparisons going, but this definitely put me in the game from a LED perspective, where I'll have something flagship on the side of computing to go really against, you know, like the TVs and things of that sort. Keeping in mind, this is the type of panel you buy if you were looking for that future proof. So all your competitive shooter players, you guys are going to be into this monitor, because not only are you going to have the screen size, you're going to have the resolution. 32-inch and 4K is absolutely phenomenal, like perfect. And then having that 240 hertz is there. So even if your GPU can't run the resolution and the max frame rate in a game like Valorant or, I don't know, Siege or any of those competitive esports games, you can dumb it down to 1080p. You're going to see much more pixelation, but you got the QHD, which is kind of your sweet spot also, where you still can utilize the higher frame rate and the resolution. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video, get it rendered, throw it up there, leave some comments. Let's have a conversation. I'll start working on some content immediately after this around the Sony A90K, and then we'll get to some point where we'll be comparing the two. Let me know what you guys think. I will catch you on the next one. Peace. God bless. Max love.